What's up, guys? So let's go over nutrition, the basic side of things first. Then what we'll do is I think that if I break it down even more after this video, it'll kind of help people get an idea of where we're going to go with this. Because one of the biggest things that I deal with my clients that come in here is at home they're okay. If I tell them for breakfast you're going to have this, for lunch you're going to have this, for dinner you're going to have this, they know that they're going to be home for breakfast and dinner usually. Where people go wrong is, what do I eat in between? What do I eat for a snack if I get hungry? What do I eat for lunch if I didn't bring my food? All of these things. So here's where I think we should go with this. And I've been watching YouTube videos. I've been seeing other people's transformations, and I've spent some time trying to figure this out. A lot of people miss the small things. And I think that what's important is the small things add up to all the big things. And that's what I had to learn when I was doing this entire thing was you want to make these huge ass changes, these big goals. You just want to just kill them. But then all of a sudden, one little mess up and then you feel like you failed. So then the house, it crumbles, it falls. And so then we think, oh God. And then you look at it and think, shit, it's so big to catch back up. You got to stop that. So here's how I started looking at things. I don't believe in 8 meals a day. I don't. It's not feasible. It's not possible. Everything. I work 15 hours a day now that I'm training. I get up at 4 a.m. I work my ass off. My first client's at 5 a.m. I'm usually done at work by like 7 or 7:30 at nighttime. So I'm putting 12 hours in easily. I can't eat 8 times. If I got 10 clients that day, I'm not, stuffing my face 8 times a day. So there's a lot of people that want to tell you, oh, you have to eat 6 times, or you have to eat 8 times. No, you don't. Trust me. If you're big, okay, if you are obese or you're just kind of big, and you slightly change your eating pattern and eating habits, you're going to create a deficit in the right kind of way, right? So if you eat a bowl of cereal for breakfast and you don't eat anything all day, and then you and your coworkers go for a sandwich or something fast food at 12 or 1 or 2, and then you don't eat until late night, 9 or 10 o'clock after TV, watching TV, whatever, okay, that's a pattern, right? We create a routine that we're used to. Now, we start eating breakfast, we have a snack, we have lunch, we have a snack, we have dinner. Guess what? You've changed the pattern. You've altered it. So there's going to be a change in a better way because you're eating better foods. So when I started this entire thing, I started with egg sandwiches because I figured, hey, eggs were healthy and, well, bread was healthy because I didn't put mayonnaise on it when I started. And I figured, cool, eggs, carbs, bread, eggs, protein, cool, do it. Okay. That was great for a meal, but it didn't work out because if I had to go to work, I didn't have a bunch of fried eggs sitting around. So I came up with my own version of a shake in the morning because I had to make it quick. Mind you, I was 485 pounds, okay? So this is where a lot of people kind of think like I have to lose 30 pounds, whatever. I'm 485 at the time. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know how much weight I was going to lose, anything, but I figured I would start somewhere and knew that it was going to happen. So we have this thing, right? Biggie's got this thing where it has to be, you have to have this plan. You got to have this thing worked out because if one little thing isn't there, fuck it, I'm not going to do it because it's not going to work. All you have to do is start somewhere. Then you can progressively add things. That's why I've always said, trust the process. Once you create the process, once you outline the process, you have to trust it. And honestly, time. Time is the biggest factor that screws us up so much because we want it now. And I've told everybody, you didn't get fat overnight, so you're not going to lose weight overnight. You got to grind. You got to grind and you got to keep grinding. And that's the hardest thing. So I would get up in the morning and I would start with egg sandwiches. This is when I first started. Okay, I was 485 pounds, 56 waist. I've been there. I would not then eat for like 5 or 6 hours because I just wasn't hungry, right? So then I figured, okay, I'm hungry now. What am I going to do? Well, I didn't like cooking at the time, so I would go get a rice bowl. The problem is I was putting 3 and 4 teriyaki sauces on my rice bowl, right? So then usually, and people don't want to talk about this, I get an upset stomach, I get diarrhea, I'm in the bathroom, 20 minutes later, I'm hungry again because I'm not absorbing, I'm not digesting the proper foods. It's just not happening. So then, well, I would eat something, anything at the house if that was the case. Dinner time came around, I would think, okay, well, I'll eat healthy again. What's healthy, right? So at the time when I first started, I'm thinking, okay, McDonald's salad, right, with chopped ham and this and stuff, and I'll just have the ranch dressing because, well, the salad says healthy. None of it was healthy. Dressing's not healthy. Processed ham, not healthy. So this is what happened when I first started. This entire thing was I started having to step back. And I'm a very simplistic type of person. So I figured your proteins, right? Your proteins are simple. It's chicken, it's beef, it's pork for those who eat it. There's bacon, obviously, that you can cook up. There's turkey. I'm not a fan of turkey. I don't really care for turkey. I eat turkey one time a year, and if somebody invites me to their house for Thanksgiving, I'll eat it. Turkey sandwiches with a lot of mayonnaise and bread, best kind of stuff to eat. Can't have that shit anymore. So fish, right? Another protein. People complicate it. People want to complicate everything that you see. So what I've always told people was, if we're going to go shopping, we shop on the outside of the grocery store, okay? Everything on the center is processed. Everything on the center, okay? Think of the center down our mouth has made us fat. Easiest way to figure this out. Watch who shops. Next time you're at the grocery store, just kind of get an idea, okay? And don't judge. I'm just telling you to look around. You see a lot of heavy people going in and out of the aisles in the center. You see a lot of healthy people walking the outside of the thing for that reason. And that's really what it is. You think about everything that I'm going to tell you guys to consume is on the outside of the grocery store, period. So breakfast would consist of, after I figured out eating fried eggs and a ton of vegetable oil wasn't good for me, I started hard boiling my eggs. I started cooking my eggs in Dairy Gold butter. I'll fucking plug them, but they just have the best grass-fed butter there is. So I would take a tablespoon, okay, I'm totally lying because I would take like 4 tablespoons when I first started. Nowadays, I take a tablespoon because people say, oh, you can have all the healthy fat you want. No, you can't. Fat is still fat, okay? There's healthy fat, there's saturated and unsaturated, but at the end of the day, too much any kind of fat is not good for us, okay? Now, you have some people that say, oh, I'm keto and I eat, 80% of my caloric intake from fat. Here's the thing. Find me, okay, and you're going to hear me say this a couple of times. Go find me a 500-pound man that eats 2 or 3 sticks of butter, like the little skinny fucker over here on his keto diet, that can take 5 bars of butter, put it in his drink and put it in his food, and now he's 200 pounds. You're not going to find him. If you do, bring him to me. I want to meet him, okay? I want to physically meet this guy, and then he better have all the proof in the world that he only ate fats and proteins, and he lost 300, 400, 500 pounds. I'm waiting for it. Still haven't met him. So once the fat is balanced, good word, I guess, we look at carbohydrates, okay? Carbohydrates, the good carbs, okay? Brown rice, a little harder to digest, to break down that husk. Our bodies are working a little harder. I hate brown rice. I can't stand how it fucking tastes. I'll eat white rice. I don't care. The thing is what do we usually do when we eat white rice, right? Usually it's loaded with sodium and MSG and stuff from Chinese food, okay? And I ain't knocking Chinese food. I'm just saying usually. Or we put tons of butter, right? We throw a whole stick of butter and 2 cups of rice and eat it because it tastes so good. You just defeated the purpose, okay? And none of this is going to be easy. And I promise you, every big person that sees this or every person that wants to start over or do this, this shit ain't easy, okay? Every single day, it's been 3 years that I have kept off over 200 pounds. Every single day that I do this, it is not easy, okay? Prime example. There, this is a fucking example. I'm glad I had it right here. That is 8 ounces of chicken. That's some Parmesan shredded cheese and some salad. Guess what? There's no ranch dressing, okay? There's oil and vinegar, right? So you have your oil, which is a healthy, good fat, 2 tablespoons usually on there, and some vinegar, a little bit of taste. Okay, I really don't care about some sugar and vinegar or a little bit of carb and vinegar. If you're exercising, we're able to burn that off. So carbohydrates usually consist of your rices, brown or white rice, your potatoes. I personally like red potatoes. They actually have a very high content, more fiber than, say, a white potato. And then there's sweet potatoes and yams. And I gotta be honest with you, you can Google all you want. Some say sweet, some say yams. Look, they're fucking white. Some of them are orange. Eat them, okay? You can't put a pound of butter on them. You can put cinnamon on them, okay? And we're gonna talk about some ideas. As we go through this, we're gonna talk about it. And I really wanna start doing more of these videos because I want people to start asking questions. If you're asking questions, that means you're actually thinking about doing something. If this thing over here in replies has no replies, well, fuck it. No one's watching me. There's 500, 600 subscribers. And they all think I'm an asshole. So I want you guys to ask these questions because I want to try to figure this stuff out. I had to then figure out what carb source worked for me, okay? I'm very carb sensitive, okay? Men and women don't want to talk about it. Some more women than more men. When you eat something and you're running to the bathroom a minute later, 10 minutes later, and you're just diarrhea all over the place, that is because you're carb sensitive. There's something that your body does not like. One of the things that I practice with all of my clients that come in here, okay, is process of elimination. Elimination, kind of the same fucking thing, but here's the deal. You have to take one food and eat just that one food. So we'll use white rice as an example, okay? So tomorrow, if I was to say, this is what I want you guys to eat 3 times. 6 ounces of chicken, okay, no barbecue sauce, no fucking ketchup, all right? And I wanted you to eat half a cup of rice or a cup of rice if you're a bigger dude or a bigger girl, doesn't matter. And I wanted you to eat rice and chicken for the rest of the week, okay? And some people, I'll make them eat that for breakfast too because we need to figure out what is activating inside our stomach. We need to see what's pissing us off inside. So if rice doesn't really bother us and we're not running to the bathroom, then we know that usually oils that we put on our rice are butters, and then that carb affects us. We have diarrhea. After that, for another week, we'll eat a red potato or we eat a sweet potato, okay? Then we can slowly start to add in certain foods that we know aren't going to mess with us too much. So one day you can have chicken, another day you can have some lean beef. I love red meat, okay? I'm still waiting for the person to tell me that red meat will kill everybody and be proven. I would believe that red meat is not good for you 6 times a day, but once a day, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, I think it's going to be okay. If you're eating 35 meals in a week, right? If you're eating 5 meals a day, 7 days a week, and 5 of those meals are red meat, I think you're going to be okay. I really believe that. Confession. I eat at least 2 red meat meals a day, unusual. Sometimes I just get so tired of chicken. I get so tired of, I'll eat fish. Fucking fish is gross. But I'll have burgers. I'll have cube steaks. I'll make steaks. I'll get a ribeye. It has fat on there. I'm good to go. Okay. And I did this day in and day out. So your carb sources also are fruits. People think, vegetables are a carb. No, vegetables, you can have all the vegetables you want. Bodybuilders will use veggies to fill themselves up when they're getting ready for a show because it's really the only healthy, not a ton of calorie filler that they can actually consume. So a big person, when you're trying to gnaw on a bunch of broccoli, that shit just doesn't taste good. And I don't want anybody to lie to themselves. We choose to eat shittier foods because usually the better foods for us don't taste as good as the shitty foods. plain and simple, right? Chicken breast or chicken tenders, right? Nuggets or stir fry. It's how it goes. When you stop lying to yourself and you physically sit down and you look at all of these things, you'll realize that you eat more for taste, okay? We eat for comfort because food becomes our friend, and we'll talk about that probably tomorrow because that's a huge thing, is why a lot of us were big, are big, is big, whatever. Emotional attachment to food, right? It doesn't call us names. It doesn't make fun of us. It's our friend. It's there when we need it. It's there when we want it. But we think it's our friend, but at the end of the day, bad food's killing us. So it really isn't our friend. So carbs are not the enemy. What you eat in the form of a carbohydrate is our enemy, okay? The cakes, the processed foods, the muffins, the croissants, the breads with mayonnaise and butter and this and stuff, that is where the problem lies, because we eat it all. We always eat it. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to get a little plain. And you have to think about what's a little sacrifice, right? So in the mornings, I would get up. I would have 5 hard-boiled eggs. I put salt on them. Sodium is a very good thing for our bodies. We actually need it. We think, oh, put a little salt and you're puffy the next day. No, the shitty food made you puffy, not the little bit of salt you put on your eggs. And with that, I'll consume my green shake, which I'll talk about what the ogre shake is as well. So you take those 2 things, and that would be my breakfast. 5, 6 eggs and a green shake, okay? In that green shake would be some protein powder, some almond milk, some spinach, maybe an apple or something. And that's how I start my day every day, all right? Lunchtime, it would be a simple thing as half a sweet potato, 8 ounces of chicken or 8 ounces of beef, and snack, I would have an apple with some peanut butter, natural peanut butter, not this Skippy, Jiffy, hydrogenated oil bullshit. I would have real peanut butter. You could also do almond butter, which is fine. But this is what a snack would be, right? Snacks are good for you, like yogurt, cottage cheese. Fruit's a very good thing. This goes into the next thing. Everyone says, oh, you can't eat too much fruit, Johnny, because it'll make you fat. So I'm going to ask the other person, right? So here's the other group. Go find me a fat person, okay? I want an obese person that said, I gained 200 pounds binge eating fucking chicken breast and strawberries. That's how I got fat. And here I am. He don't exist either. Neither does she. They don't exist, okay? We exist when we're huge because we're eating all the bad foods, okay? And it's not about how people, depict fat people about just scarfing down everything around them and just eating pizza and everything. No, we usually eat once a day, or we binge eat at nighttime after not eating at all, and we don't exercise, so we got fat. Me, that's how it is. And you guys know that I will never judge or attack you guys before I fuck myself up, because I will always use myself as the example of what I did, okay? Other people have their own thing, cool, that's you. But for me, I will always give the example first, because I'll always put myself out there before I'm ever going to say you. At the end of the day, it's a we thing, right? This is a family, it's a community. Nobody wants to help. Nobody wants to get out there and say, hey, this is the bad shit about obesity. People want to say, oh, I lost all my weight and here's my pictures now. But they don't want to talk about what it was really like. So it's important that we start to share this kind of stuff, because I promise you, there's somebody else out there that feels the exact same way, or they're going through the exact same thing. Period. That's what this comes down to. So your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats, stop making them so difficult, okay? I'm going to give a list, probably tomorrow's video, a shopping list. When I learn how to make this shit all fancy, this YouTube stuff, and post things, or if someone knows how to do this stuff, get at me. Let's talk, because you could help me. I'm fucking a moron when it comes to how to add or edit or anything and talk for 20 minutes. And some people like, because they get on the treadmill and they hear me blabber. I wish I could shorten things up or put little things in the corner, and I probably could learn this. I'm pretty busy, and I'll admit to it. And I'm kind of dumb when it comes to figuring this stuff out. So And I'll be honest, I just got a Mac like 2 months ago, and I finally just found the button where it turns actually the camera on that I can then save it and post it. So stop laughing at me. Anyways, your proteins, your fats, your carbohydrates, okay? Women, if you were to come to me and you were big, whether you're 150 and you want to be 120, you're 250 pounds and you want to go to 200 pounds. You're a dude that's 300 pounds and wants to be 250. Or you're a guy that's 500 pounds and wants to be 450 and 400 and 350, okay? We have to start cutting the portion size of our meals. We're not going to starve you, okay? I'm not going to starve you at all, but it's not going to be easy either. So women, you get about 4 to 5 ounces of protein, okay? Protein. Men, you get about 8 ounces of protein, 7 to 8 ounces. That's kind of our general rule of thumb, okay? And we're going to figure kind of these things out. Carbohydrate source, sweet potato, white potato, red potato, white rice, brown rice, okay? Stay away from pastas. I don't like pastas. We'll talk about that too. But we're going to stick to basic carbohydrates, okay? And remember, fruit is a carbohydrate, right? It converts, it's sugary, right? Glucose, it converts over, as do all carbs. So you could have a half a cup of rice and an apple, right? With your protein source, you're good to go, okay? Your fats come down to healthy fats. Grass-fed butter is probably, if you like butter, is the best tasting butter. It's made by Kerrygold, okay? That's just who they are. I haven't found anybody else that actually does that well. And I know they're probably out there, other makers, but right now where I live, Kerrygold has the butter. Olive oil, macadamia nut oil, almonds, okay? Almonds are an awesome source for fat source, but you can't eat the whole fucking bag, okay? I eat 14 almonds 2 or 3 times a day. That's my fat source, okay? The problem is with almond butter, I eat the whole goddamn jar. And I just can't. Like, I love almond butter. You get a scoop and it's got a little bit of sugar in there and you're like, this stuff's good. So it's easier for me just to eat almonds. And it's just a simpler form that I know I'm getting my healthy fats in there. So we're going to start there, right? So we've got your protein, we have your fats, we have your carbs, all right? We'll start putting this stuff all together. Now, there's always the taste warriors. Well, I want this or I want that. I'm going to teach people how to make 2 simple recipes that warm up for days on end. That's super good. I call it the ogre chicken and the ogre stew. Those 2 things, or ogre chili, I don't care what you want to call it. Those 2 things are some of the best, easiest meals put together. You throw in a crock pot, you wake up the next day, you can take your food in some Tupperware and off you go. Don't tell me your work or place doesn't have a microwave. And trust me, there are people like myself that didn't have a microwave. I ate my food cold because I had started losing 50, 60, 70 pounds. I'm not going to stop the fucking train because there's not a microwave, okay? Stop on your way to work. 7-Elevens and grocery stores or gas stations, they have microwaves too. It's how bad you want it. That's all this comes down to. It comes down to you want this bad enough, because if you do, then you're going to make it happen. So we'll leave it at that for today, okay? So we're going to stick with very simplistic things. You have your proteins, you have your carbohydrates, and you have your fats. These are the 3, this is the trifecta. We're going to start putting them together because everybody's going to come to me and say, well, I don't know how to eat or how much to eat or what to pair it with or anything. So think about it this way. If your protein, like a chicken, sounds super good with some potato, okay, you could put a little bit of olive oil or a tiny bit of butter on that for your fat source. And then we basically take the calories, we look at the caloric intake that we're taking of each meal, and we're going to divide that by 5, okay, and we're going to get our number. And I'm going to tell you guys how to do that tomorrow as well. So I'm going to leave it at that right now because that's enough information for everybody to process. And then I want you guys to start leaving comments. And I just figured out how to actually reply to individual comments. So don't think I'm forgetting about you. I didn't read it. I'm a fucking dummy when it comes to this stuff. So now I got this part taken care of. We'll get going even more so about it because I think that it's going to be a lot easier for us to interact with each other going that way. So tomorrow we'll get after it again.